These are the catered accommodations, so the occupants of these buildings are lucky enough to enjoy the tantalising Hillhead dinners. And while we're on the topic of things that make me violently ill, let me introduce you to New Carnegie. New Carnegie, the latest addition to the Hillhead family, is the golden prince that sits in his ivory tower and thinks he's so much better than us miserable, filthy peasants. It's the hot place to be if your parents are rich and you want to spend the first year of university in what's essentially a deluxe hotel. Oh, and if you're a cunt. I'm sorry about that, but it's hard not to get jealous when you see this diamond in the rough, which is like its own private little village, safely tucked away from all the mediocrity of the common people. So, there are 10 individual houses at Hillhead. We've covered the catered accommodation and those high and mighty wankers, but what about all the other buildings? Well, as a Fifeian, for the most part, they don't matter to me. They're just there. I know a few people from different houses, but there are hundreds and hundreds of people living here who I'll never know. Sure, I might recognize them from uni or the watering hole or just from walking around, but as far as I'm concerned, they're just complete insignificant wastes of space, and I don't care if they live or die. But, for the sake of this video, I've been forced to research a little about these buildings. According to the webpage on Hillhead Halls of Residence, the newest blocks at Hillhead are South House and North Court, but the idiots in charge obviously haven't noticed the colourful titan of New Carnegie, which magically sprung out of nowhere in the last year. You wouldn't guess from their imaginative names, but North Court and South House are located at the north and south ends of Hillhead, respectively. One would assume that they're natural enemies, but quite frankly, the number of brutal gang wars between the two have been tame. There's really nothing else I can say about these houses other than their geographical location, except that maybe compared to the other buildings at Hillhead, they're kind of nice to look at, but enjoy the eye candy while you can, because we're about to enter a maze of cheap, dirty ugliness. I might have been a little harsh on my commentary on Fife House and Friends, because compared to the granite blocks of shit that make up Esslemont, Burnett and Hector Boyce, Fife looks like a paradise. All these identical buildings make it seem like a weird little town which just so happens to be a shithole. I've been unlucky enough to film inside Esslemont, so follow me if you think you can stomach it.
Example of scene 1.
So this is it. You walk up this disgusting little stairwell into this horrible corridor with all these ghastly little doors. Inside there's this terrible little hallway with all these sickening little bedrooms. There's this repulsive kitchen and this awful little showroom that you have to share with the 5 cunts that you live here with. Yeah, you heard me. You have to live with 5 other people. 5 strangers. Sure, in Fife you're living in the same building as 163 other assholes, but you're separated from them. It's more like a hotel. There's no reason why you need to have any contact with anyone on your corridor, or anyone in the building for that matter. In this shit heap, however, you're actually living with people, so you're going to see them no matter what. So you're just going to have to smile and pretend to like them and try not to go batshit insane and murder every single one of them. Or do. It makes no difference to me. The point is, Esslemont, Hector Boyce, and Burnett are just such a collection of shit heaps that it just makes me so happy I don't have to live here like a fucking rat. Well, that was Esslemont. I hope you enjoyed. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and be sick, so peace out. That was horrible. There's one other self-catered building, Keith House, but it's all the way over there and I can't be bothered walking that far, so let's just assume it's disgusting and full of dickheads. However, I can tell you a lot about the laundrette. Well, no, actually I can't. There's really not much to say other than it costs £2 to wash and £1 to dry, which in the humble opinion of this cheap bastard is extortionate. Also, the dryer is complete bullshit and leaves your clothes damp. Speaking of wasting money, Hillhead has its very own shop, suitably called Hillhead Shop. The prices are generally unreasonable and you should resist the temptation and take a trip down to your local Lidl, where fresh avocado is now only 29p. Or why not pick up a tin of baked beans and get another one free. With all these great deals happening at Lidl, you'd have to be a fucking idiot to go to the Hillhead shop. Lidl, where quality is cheaper. The central building is a little communal place where people from all the houses can come together and live in harmony. Well, they'll probably only spend time with the people they already know from their own house, but at least they'll be nearby other people. Activities to do in the central building include wasting money on a game of pool, wasting money on these god-awful machines, wasting money on overpriced snacks, wasting money on disgustingly unhealthy kebabs, wasting money on printing essays, checking your mail, and wasting money by locking yourself out your room and having to pay the £3 fine for getting let back in. That's right, it costs £3 to be let back into your room. That brings us to an important question. You might be wondering who is ultimately in charge at Hillhead. Is it the porters? Granted, they have a certain element of power with their easily exploited access to the keys and their nightly inspections. If you're very naughty, then you might end up meeting with the head porter and get a disciplinary hearing, but they'll probably just let you off with a stern warning. No, the porters are really nothing more than janitors with the illusion of power. Then you have the wardens, who are nothing more than the slightly older versions of the people who live here now. They don't have any friends. With literally nothing worthwhile in their lives, they spend their time disrupting ball games and complaining about loud music. They have less power here than I do. Nah, you need only spend one day at Hillhead, and you'll know who's truly in charge. The Largus argentatus, or herring gull as it is more commonly referred to, is for residents here a force to be reckoned with. With their beady eyes, sharp beaks, haunting cries and merciless behaviour, these animals will not hesitate to murder anyone that crosses them. Don't get too close to them, don't make eye contact with them, don't torment them. For the love of God, don't exhibit food near them. Seagulls aren't the only wildlife at Hillhead. Challenging their reign of terror, there's oyster catchers, crows, ducks, rabbits, squirrels, and according to some unreliable sources, otters. But all these other creatures are quite docile. I guess you could say they know their place in the pecking order.